have been fortunate to work with companies like Microsoft at its headquarters, Nokia, Samsung, Motorola, etc. But my biggest joy has come from working with Microsoft headquarters, where I started off with actually hating Microsoft. A willful respect for the company without getting carried away with all its, all its whatever goes on at Microsoft. But there's a big learning that one gathers when one works with companies like that, with people like the ones that are at Microsoft. I spent a semester at the Industrial Science Center doing a workshop with students typically within industry. So I actually put process into practice, and at the end of the semester we presented to the industry with critiques from different vocations, for example from management, etc. So the idea is to get students to understand how not just to talk about design, but how to actually bring in vocabulary from outside of the design industry, so that those outside of the design industry can understand what they're saying. Because there is a tendency amongst designers to constantly talk as if everybody's supposed to know design. There's a certain egoistic attitude amongst not just designers, it's amongst creative people, because they think they are there to solve the problems of the world. It's not as if the problems get solved always by creative, so-called, the technically qualified, the customary creative people, but the ego becomes a problem, and I think it's important to understand how to handle the ego for designer, because it's a good thing too if you can harness it properly. I'm going to actually take you through an interactive session where a process of problem solving plays out. That's why we needed to take a little time from you. Is anybody under a tremendous time stricture, like someone needs to go catch a flight or has somebody sick at home? You're okay? Okay. If there's a problem with someone, that is, if you'll see when we start the interactive session, it's very difficult to actually keep checking with time, because it depends on how you respond to it. So if you feel that you're running out of time, please let me know, then I can maybe try and speed it up. I also have the tendency to rush through, speak very fast. So if you think I'm racing, raise your hand and I'll slow down. So I'll take you through an interactive session on problem solving through a process, which is as against problem solving without a process. Which is, arbitrarily you sit and say, let's see if we can get some ideas, and then let's see if we can apply them, but not really being able to reverse engineer it to say what went wrong or what went right. So therefore, the emphasis here will be on how that one uses process, and how one uses process, and why one uses process. So before I start the interactive session, I thought I would lead up the interactive session with a set of fundamentals to help you understand what ails the product development industry by debunking certain myths. In terms of the product development industry's search for ideas and concepts and solutions, where we naturally tend to emulate those big names, and what is it that we should not do. I will also give you a glimpse into how problem solving as an exercise has always intrigued people across civilization. It's not a new thing. We make it look like we live in a complex world today, so oh my God, we are laden with these problems, but that's not the case. Every stage of civilization had its own set of complexity, and it's very important to understand how those complexities were actually overcome or dealt with, and the problems overcome. So for that, I will actually reference a thinker from an earlier culture, an ancient culture, and then take you through why a process needs to be employed in problem solving, and finally take you through some of the dynamics of a process, the 4 steps of problem solving process before we then start carrying it out. So when you carry it out, it will essentially be you who does it. So if you can absorb what I'm saying now, it will help you take control of what we're going to do after this. let me start by demolishing a few beliefs that hold together as a glue the industry of product development. And I know that I'm going to be, I'm going to see wide-eyed wonder, and it's like, who the hell are you to tell us all this? But let me try. Because fundamental to problem solving is actually to break walls and established notions. So let's break some established notions. These are beliefs. Two of the beliefs that I'm going to question, they are beliefs that have now taken on the status of myths, and something you are constantly flushed with when you're at your vision meetings at your company, or when you switch on a business channel, or when you open the pages of a business magazine. So two such myths that need to be countered are the following. One, that you need to understand big brands as role models in order to comprehend or learn how to innovate and how to build your products. So we are constantly following big brands. We're constantly, looking for examples, at GE, at Infosys, where interactive products are concerned, and a whole host of them. A lot of these companies are located abroad, used to be solely located abroad, they're shifting here, but they've become the holy grail for understanding how ideas were generated. Secondly, you need to be very circumspect, very, very, very careful about, the second myth that has been perpetuated is that you need to be tuned into future trends. And these are future trends that are set up by trends experts, often called futurists, often setups like McKinsey and Ernst & Young, often even individuals like Jack Naisbitt or Peter McCullough. So these two myths, that you need to build your ideas or emulate big brands, and that you need to follow the path of future trends, are two things that I think we need to be careful about, and let's try and understand why. It's not, when I say do not follow future trends, I don't mean blindly do not follow. I mean blindly, don't follow blindly.